guys, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, thank you so much for clicking. So much convinced that this video will make you subscribe to my channel. My name is Uzoma Grace, a Nigerian YouTuber based in Lagos. I make content of real estate, lifestyle, and also vlogs and all that good stuff. And if you're returning subscribers, hi guys, hi my love, how you all doing? Thank you for always coming back to the channel, and please consider subscribing. Put on your notification bell so that you get notified each time I upload new videos. Okay, today we'll be filming what it takes to build a 4-bedroom twin duplex from the foundation level down to the roofing level, and we're going to be spicing it up with the stages. I want you guys to stay tuned to that video, but before then, I would like to thank this shortlet apartment, the company that sponsored this video with this apartment. Thank you so much for giving us this apartment to film this video. I'm grateful and I appreciate. This is a shortlet apartment inside Blackwell Golf and Country Estate. Just in case you're looking for a short stay apartment, vacation, holidays and all that, this is something you should consider. Very serene, is a beautiful environment, something that you will love and bring your family to. If you're interested and you will love a short stay apartment like 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, you can call the number on your screen. So if you're booking, there's a discount code Uzoma Grace for now. So you guys should consider that. And a lot of you guys always ask me, do I have properties? Oh, they think that I don't have property. I have properties also for sale. Just in case, if you're looking for properties to buy here in Nigeria, you can call the number on your screen to know more. So let's get right into this video. Okay. Today's video we'll be discussing about what it takes to build a 4-bedroom twin duplex to roofing level. And with me here I have engineer Ugo. We filmed a video of what it takes to build a 5-bedroom duplex. You guys should check the video. If you've not watched that video, I'll leave the link here or here, so try and check that video to follow up on cost of what it takes to build in Nigeria. So I would like engineer Ugo to introduce himself once again to our new viewers, because I'm sure we have a whole lot of new viewers viewing us today. All right.
Thank you very much, Grace, and I so much appreciate this opportunity.
You're welcome.
Thank you. It's true that
and thank you for coming also, because
we
it's
have
really a
been
struggle.
postponing it, because of the nature of my job, being very busy and all that. But we are not too busy though to do this. No matter whatever it takes, it's worth doing.
And I really want to also appreciate some of my clients that you're building
yes,
for.
Yes.
That really made me feel like I am doing something good here on YouTube.
I also want to say
honest.
a very big thank you to all of you. One, those who subscribes to her channel, those who has also given us the opportunity to build for them. Some, their project has got up to roofing level, some are on first floor slab level, and some are also preparing, and some has given us a fresh job that we are also about to start.
Wow, that's
so
nice.
We say a very big thank you all
Thank
of you
guys.
for that
thank
privilege.
you all so much.
So right now we will be discussing about cost to build a 4-bedroom twin duplex in Lagos, Nigeria. For then, I want to also let you guys know that my name, like she said, is Engineer Ugochukwu Nwaiwu, into varied construction projects: civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical, architectural, landscaping, dredging, and all what it takes to make home. Yeah,
it's always good to work with someone that gives you the value of what you want. You need to try him.
We are looking at the cost and process of constructing a 4-bedroom twin duplex. In our previous video, we discussed about the topography of areas. Like if you have a site you want us to develop, first thing we do is to go for what we call visibility studies. In that process, we'll be able to know the kind of soil you have, the topography, which defines the level of foundation that is required, and also the strength and the type. Some areas require a raft mat foundation, some are pad column foundation, some are also normal pad foundations without raft, some are with raft, and some require piling. All of these, they are of different costs and of different method. That's what we do. Right now, we are going to discuss based on pad raft foundation, or we call it pad mat column foundation, along with raft. So we are going to use that method.
I've not heard about that method. This one is...
Are you an engineer? Okay, so that method, like I said, is like when we talk of pad foundation, in some areas you see where we raise the columns before we start. There's a base.
Okay, you raise the columns first.
No, we excavate to the depth we want, then to the required depth, not just what we want, according to the strength and of the soil. That will determine the kind of structure that the method will actually use. So the pad foundation is what you can also see in the screen here. You know, once you see us raising the columns, before then we have the base. The column base, we raise the columns before the raft. It is in a place where pad foundation system matches with the raft mat foundation. Do most times in Ibeju-Lekki area here. It's also different from what we do in the eastern region, in some part of the western region too, and the northern region. In fact, it's the method we use in waterlogged areas that will have soft soil, like here in Lekki, precisely Lekki and Ibeju-Lekki area of Lagos State, Nigeria. We are talking about what it takes to build a 4-bedroom twin duplex. At first, if you have a proposed site of which you know in Lagos State, if you are building anywhere in Lagos State, you must make sure that you have an approval. You must have your survey plan registered, and your land must be free from accusation. Any government accusation must be free, and you must make sure you have your documentation done ready. Though that is not the colossal engineering technology doesn't involve in doing that. Site preparation includes the clearing of the bush, that is to excavate all the debris. What we do, we normally scrape the topsoil off from the site. No part of our structure is resting on the debris or on the topsoil. They are very soft ones, so we make sure we excavate all of that. We go into making our profiles. The profile materials has to be ready, and in the process of site preparation, we are talking about making a borehole, which is very important. We also do advise our clients to make sure they get the normal borehole, not the shallow borehole that you also close. You do it once and for all time. The borehole that will also serve after the construction of the building. Very necessary to have clean water in the site. So we make sure it's included. Water is very important to have in a site. So in the course of site preparation, it's also inclusive. Make sure we have a very clean borehole, and possibly we do it once and for all time instead of doing the shallow borehole that you close and then open again. So we advise our clients to make sure we have the once and for all time borehole that will serve during the course of construction and will also serve during the finishing time that the client will move in. So having done all of that, then we go by the profile materials. We are going to tell you guys what it costs to actually erect a 4-bedroom duplex, like we mentioned. What we normally do is to split the construction stages to roof level into 6 different stages. That's what we do. So the 6 stages in question. Number 1 stage involves the site preparation to German floor level. That's the DPC, the dam proving cost level. So that is stage 1. All it takes, be it a raft system or the block wall system, that we call stage 1. The stage 2 will be the walling of the first floor slab, which involves the rooms, the kitchens, all the walls that is required to form a house will be erected from the German floor level to the first floor slab, that is the decking. We call that stage 2. Then stage 3 will now then be the first floor slab. The first floor slab, that's the decking, will be the stage 3. Stage 4 is now will become the raising of the wall from the first floor slab decking to reinforced concrete facial level. The parapet, as some people do call it. The parapet will be the stage 5. Stage 6 will be the installation of the roofing trusses and the roofing sheets, say the roofing level. Having done all of that, your house will be set to face finishing, which we are going to discuss next time about what it costs to finish a 4-bedroom twin duplex. We also have a sample of a structure that we are going to use to give you a clue. Cost of materials in Nigeria is not stable. It's not. And again, the topography of an area may define a different kind of foundation from what you know before or from your own site. So sometimes you see someone giving you a quotation like, after my visibility studies, I discovered that you don't need pad foundation alongside raft mat foundation. You be rest assured that the cost will not be the same as where we run only raft without the pad foundation. Also know that the height matters. There are some areas where we build up to 1.8 meter height, which is above my height, on the raft, just the raft. It involves lots of filling.
That should be a very swamped land.
No, not just swamp. There are some areas you see the land, the site, far below the road level. So you have to bring it up to road level, then give it another extra height.
So that it can, flow with the same...
No, it has to be above the road level.
Okay, above.
Yes. So during the course of landscaping, we make sure that your compound will be free of flood. So your house also will be free of flood. Put together a place where 1.2 meter raft is like, when the word we use like 4-board raft. When you say 4-board raft, we are looking at a board is 300, or you call it a foot. Though boards of these days, if you are using 1.1 by 12 board, it's no longer up to 300 or a foot. Yeah, it's lesser. But then when we say 4-board, we are referring to 1.2 meter height. So a place where your site is equivalent equal to road level, it will now become an issue of choice that you want to go for 1.2 meter raft. That is the height of the German floor, or after the German floor you'll be getting up to 1.6. It becomes an issue of choice. So because some clients will tell you, oh no, I want it to be very high. So if you have all it takes to do that, feel free to do it. It benefits, because during the course of flood, seeing people running helter-skelter, moving their properties here and there because of flood. So it's an unforeseen occurrence though, so nobody plans for it. So some clients will tell you, oh, I want mine to be very high. In some places too, where some clients will tell you, oh, I want 4-board raft. Oh, it's okay, that's 1.2 meter height raft. But when we go there, we discover that even the 1.2 meter height will only take us to the road level, or a little bit above the road level. There are other methods we use in that regard. That is where we introduce pad foundation, then we do filling. So we don't fill and then build on top of the fillings. It's also structurally wrong to do that. So what we do in such case is to make use of pad foundations, whereby all the columns will be raised. If it's a place where we know that the soil is not equal to carry on a duplex or an upstairs, let's use the word an upstairs. Possibly, if we go through the soil test, most report comes and it shows that such place will require doing piling. So after the piling, to enable the structural strength to be fit to carry such load. So in a matter like this, we are now discussing based on pad foundation and raft. The cost of doing that is what we are now going to discuss.
So what do you think? The other method of that foundation and this pad foundation, which one do you prefer, or do you feel is best to use while building a house?
Like I said earlier, it does not just depend on what our clients want. In a place where we want to carry on a construction project, what we normally do is to inspect the site. We'll be able as an engineer to determine what kind of structure, the strength, the foundation that will be required, and also the height. So whereby our clients want something lesser than, because some clients will tell you, oh no, what I did there, if you see the raft very high, but that of very high, the client did not consider the road level. So all the height you're talking about were all far below the road level. As an engineer, when we do our visibility studies, we will be able to determine the best kind of foundation because in the eastern region, in some places whereby you are going for only a slab, that is 1-story building, it's not really advisable to go for a pad foundation alongside with raft. Right. Some people will want to do it if you have the money, fine. It's called extra strength. But such strength is like, I don't know what I can use as a case study. In a place where you need a strong car, you know that, okay, some SUVs are good, and with SUV you are good to go. But you see people say, okay, because using a truck like I call it trailer or Mack big trucks will also do the same thing. So using the big truck will be like waste of money, when you know that, okay, using SUV will also serve the same purpose. However, I don't know if my case study in this regard flows with what I'm saying, but I'm sure you understand what I mean. Back to the cost of building a 4-bedroom twin duplex.
This is the stage one.
Yes, the stage one. At first, there's what we call in stage one, form work. That form work involves the profile materials. 1x12 planks, 2x3 wood, nails, steel rope, that's the binding wire, that is for foam work, and twine ropes. So we make use of rope too to take our line. In this case, if you are building in a 450 square meter land, we will be looking at 480 pieces of 1x12x12 for the raft, the pad foundation, and the columns. That will be enough for it. In the course of this very project we are using as a case study, it was purchased around 20th of, it was middle of October 2021. That's last year, October. So, and as you can see, it's already finished, successfully finished. The foam work, as I mentioned, then we are buying wood at the rate of 1,000. That was last 1,650. So 1,650, we go for about 480 pieces, 230 pieces of 2x3 wood, 20 kg of binding wire, and 3 bags of nails, which includes 3 inches and 4 inches. So put together in that stage, we are talking about 1,036,000 naira on the foam work.
On this
four-bedroom twin duplex. Remember, we are talking about 2 buildings.
Do you think 450 square meter can take a twin duplex?
Yes, of course.
Well?
Yeah, of course. 450 square meter land takes twin duplex comfortably, whereby we still have not less than 3 meters sideways and 3 meters at the back and 6 meters in front. And that is the minimum standard that is acceptable by estate like Beechwood.
Okay.
In places like Beechwood, the requirement is not less than 6 meters front, back 3 meters, then sideways, both sides. Must have not less than 3 meters.
And if you're interested to buy land in Beechwood Estate, you can call the number on your screen.
You will not have any cause to regret if you do so.
I'm telling you.
I trust Uzoma Grace in that regard.
You trust Uzoma Grace, or you trust the fact that Beechwood Estate is good for my client to invest?
For you, taking someone to Beechwood Estate is guaranteed, trusted.
Why do you say so?
But how many have you not sold? You've sold many. And you do receive no less than 20 calls on daily basis.
That Beechwood Estate is just
Beechwood Estate is a sweet place.
Yeah,
it's a good. The much I know about Beechwood Estate, and not just Beechwood Estate.
And you've been building a lot.
Not only so because I built a lot in Beechwood Estate. Not, in fact, in Ibeju-Lekki.
What can you say?
In Lekki, generally, I've built in many places.
You have a land in Beechwood Estate. Yes, now you're supposed to have.
Okay, Beechwood Estate is a place to be. It's a very sweet. I've been to so many estates. I've seen some estates that people are praising today, but when you go in there, they don't even have space. It's just like Face Me and Face You Estate. Do you know that no house or building is facing a road? They are all in a clue.
Yeah,
roads,
you're right.
When you see road, let's say Bini Road, for example. In Bini Road, you see Madi Close. That is where you see buildings in that. The whole of that Bini Road. Trust me, you wouldn't see anybody facing that road. They did not manage. They did not.
Do you know that road now? You cannot get that kind of road now in this.
No,
concrete, like the way they did the road in that Beechwood Estate.
The power system is 247. They generate and distribute, and they have a central water system, and also give you the privilege to
clean water, not Jakonde water or Lekki Phase 1 water. Clean water, guys.
And you can also have your own borehole yourself.
Okay, you can also make your own borehole. Of
course, some clients decide to do their own borehole, make their own borehole. Yes.
But you know, really?
And
There's
Beechwood
some
has
estate
a well
that doesn't really make their own. They will not allow you to make
Yeah, Beechwood allows that.
I just love that. Is just what I love
Beechwood
about
allows
Beechwood.
that. They have good road networking system.
Yeah.
Security is, in fact, superb. They are always active, working, and so why wouldn't people like a place like that?
Yeah, that's why I prefer selling on Beechwood, because it's something that I always, recommend anyone to get.
Yeah, Beechwood is a good place, and it's a very big estate.
Beechwood Estate, as it is, it's owned by Mixter Nigeria, and Mixter Nigeria is a subsidiary to ARM. Okay,
that's the one that starts from.
Yeah, so they are the owner of Golf and Country Estate, Farah Park, and Adiva Estate, also Beechwood Park, Marula Park. Okay. So all this is still the same owner.
They make the same developers. That's why their road networking system is. We are now discussing about reinforcement on the same stage 1. Reinforcement includes the rods, that's the irons that we use in doing that construction. We have 3 types of rod we use. 1, Y16, that's the 16 mm.
Okay.
Y12 and Y10. These are the sizes of rod we normally use while constructing the Raft Foundation for an upstairs, a single slab. So a Y16 goes about 82 lengths, 322 pieces of Y12, and about 246 pieces of Y10. Buying them at the rate of Y16 at the rate of 7,700 per length. Then times it by 82 lengths, and then 328 lengths of Y12, which was sold for 4,400 naira per length, and 3,200 naira for Y10. Put together, we are talking about 2,888,000 for reinforcement. You can also see on your screen the standard of Raft Foundation we are talking about here. So the next part of this very stage 1 is the concrete and mortar materials. Include the coarse aggregate, which is the granite, fine aggregate, which is the sharp sand that we use. Though here in Lagos we make more use of sharp sand for the filling. Yeah, in some places or outside of Lagos, the things they normally have available is lactarat. That's the red sand, the normal one, it's what they normally use for filling because that's what's available. But here, what we have available is the same sharp sand, the coarse fine aggregate, then cement. Then another one we apply at this stage is waterproofing membrane. We have on our previous video we discussed about waterproofing membrane, which is what we use to arrest dampness. You see some walls that soaks damp and all that. So in this case, we apply what prevents it. That's the waterproofing membrane. Waterproofing membrane of 50 kg. Then we talk about the fine aggregates, which cost about 50,000 as at then. The 50,000 in question was for the size of truck that is called China truck. Though now, as of today, it's sold for 65,000 per trip, depending on your location.
Okay.
Yeah. We are now converting to tonnage. So we talk about the cement of 293 bags that is sold for 3,700 when we started this project, which amounted to 1,084,100 naira for cement alone. Then we talk about the fine aggregate, that is the sharp sand that I mentioned, which takes about 60 tons. The 60 tons per ton then was sold for 2,750, which altogether will be like 165,000 naira for the 3 trips. That is, we're not talking of the filling here. We're talking of the ones we use for the casting. Then the coarse aggregate also we refer to 120 tons. Then we used to buy at the rate of 5,700 per tonnage. So put together times it by 120, we'll be talking about 900,000. Then waterproofing membrane, as I mentioned, 50 kg sold for 480 will be amounting to about 24,000 naira. That is the part in this very stage. So we'll move on to another part of the stage 1, which is the filling materials. The filling materials here, I want you to be rest assured that it's not stable when it comes to volumes, but the size or the height that we are discussing about here is 1.2 meter height. So we'll be looking at 560 tons of sand to get that fill. Times it, if you check the cost of this filling, which is 2,500 per tons, times 560 square meter will be giving us about 1.4 million for the filling. Then we talk about another part of it, which is transportation, the labor, and the supervision fee. This is what brings it to the end when we're talking about the stage 1. So put together, if you're following up, what we are looking at here is about 8,398,000 naira to construct to the German floor level. The supervision fee is not much, depending on the nature of the project, but Colossal Engineering Technology wouldn't charge much. But what I mentioned, that is to say the 8,398,000 includes the labor and supervision. So you can see on your screen the stages, the completion, and what it takes to get to this very level. Supervision, like I said, includes, we charge per percentage of the volume of that project. So some clients will be willing to pay 15% of the total cost. We are always considerate. Yeah, we always consider, we can go as low as
15%.
10%, though, depending on the project, yeah, of
So
the entire
what
project.
kind of project do you charge for 15%?
No, depending on the location, the area, and the size of job. But we do accept 10% to some clients, to some areas. And this is stage two. Stage two now involves the construction of the walling. That's the walling of the building to deck level. So the deck level in question is not included in stage two. That one is a different stage. But the stage two includes the running of the columns, that's the pillars, the beams, all around the beams. That's what's involved in stage two. Then the leveling height that takes it to the slab level. That's stage two. So stage two also includes formwork. The formwork includes 1 by 12 by 12 plank, 2 by 3, 1 by 9, and 1 by 6 planks. So the 1 by 6 is the one we use in the place where we have 6 inches wall to construct the beams or the lintels. The lintels. Now, 1 by 9 is also used for the lintels where we have wall 9 inches to the doors and windows. We call it bottom. Some people call it bottom. That's what we use to construct that very area. So these are the things involved. Then in formwork, 2 by 3 wood is also involved. 1 by 12 by 12 takes about 110 pieces at the rate of 1,600, while 2 by 3 takes about 50 pieces. 1 by 9 takes about 56 lengths. 1 by 6 takes about 20 lengths. 1 by 6 doesn't really take much because most of the wall in this very stage are made of 9 inches. So that is what it takes. And then 20 kg of 3 inches nail and 10 kg of 2 inches or 2.5 inches nail. Put together, we'll be looking at 288,000 naira on that very formwork. Then reinforcement. Reinforcement involves also Y16. Y16 is what we use on the columns, the pillars. Yeah. Y16 is also used in some areas where we have the beams. Y12 is also used in some areas where we have the beams too, while Y10 is what we use for steel rope. The steel rope, that's the rings. That's what we use
for this reinforcement.
For the reinforcement, yes.
This reinforcement, what is it really all about? Because there is a client of mine that we went to inspect the house that she bought. There were a whole lot of cracks on the wall. This client spent a whole lot of money buying that house. That is why, guys, if you're always buying a property, it's always good to go with an engineer, to be honest. Take your engineer there to inspect the house for you before buying the house. I would like to know, and I'm sure a lot of our subscribers here would like to know, what really causes these cracks on the wall? Because for me, at times I do feel, oh, maybe it's because the house is soaked of water, maybe because the house is old. As an engineer, we would like to really know what really causes cracks on the walls.
Okay, thank you for that observation. It's common in so many structures you see today.
Because the person spent a whole lot of money buying that house. So how come there's cracks?
You see,
and the crack is too
I have
much?
Also, apart from the one spending a whole lot of money buying, some people also spend a whole lot of money that can be used to build double of such house. And truly, they will tell you, yeah, I spent 80 million building this house. I've spent, and if you look at what they mention as at then, possibly can build 2 different buildings of that size. And when you go through them, you discover that the whole place, some of them, when we look at such, the only advice would be to demolish. Yes, of course. We see so many people don't follow the structural rules. That's why sometimes you see even a column, that is to say the pillar, that is carrying the load, the whole load of the whole structural load, you see it having a crack. You see, there's an analysis I would have used, but there's no broom here. When you see columns, that's the pillars. The need, some people don't know the work of the ring. That's the steel rope. That's why you see many people giving a longer space. When you give a long space to the ring, that ring is what binds the columns to become a reinforced column. Just like broom. When you have a broom, turn it upside down, hold or tie the broom pad, the place you normally use to sweep, tie it, then press it. You will see it will spring and expand. There will be an expansion.
Yeah.
You understand? Now,
If you squeeze it together.
not squeeze. If you tie the mouth,
Okay,
just
the
turn
mouth
the head downward.
Yeah, it will just in
Then
the cuff.
tie the broom itself where you normally used to sweep. The broom, you bring it together like this, tie it, then turn it upside down, press it down. You see that it will spring and expand. The broom will expand. That is you pressing it is like the load. I don't know if you understand me.
Yeah.
It's like it will expand. Then tie it again on the middle, like one more or two at the middle. One, like this. You tie 1, 2. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
Press it again. You will see that it will look as if you are pressing on a plank, a wood. You are pressing wood. It will be still. It will not expand. It will be strong enough to carry any load of its size. So when you give longer space on a column,
Okay.
you have given the room. You have given room for expansion of the column. So when there is an expansion, there is a chance of having that crack. And if it happens, trust me, the next thing is collision. It will collapse. It will go down.
But apart from that, do you think there's any other reason, any other thing apart from that?
Yeah, the casting too. When the mixture is not properly, when it's not properly mixed, there is another thing that do happen. Sometimes when you have sand that you want to use for casting, it is advisable you allow the sand to gush out all the water on it. In fact, let it be dry one before using it. We can explain better why it fails next time or another time when we have more time to discuss about that. Put together, you see some people, they will tell you, oh, I used 600 bars of cement on this decking and it failed. Why? Because of the mixture. There are so many things that can lead to that. So many factors lead to seeing failure in structures. You know, so that is why when it comes to structure, one needs to be very careful. There are so many people who don't also know this rule. Some of us have tend to become an engineer, but practically, sometimes they forget, they've been carried away, forgot the rules to follow. Some, as a result of the fact that they need money, they will give a quotation that is below the cost of that building, and they will start managing materials. Places where you're supposed to place a particular size of rod, you see them using a lesser one. Then the spacing before each other, you see them giving a higher space, which can lead to collision. Such building may collapse over time. So it's advisable to hand their project over to a diligent or a qualified engineer, not just being an engineer by profession, but practically there are some who are not practically qualified to handle projects like that. So, and again, another thing that could also cause it's kind of materials they use, whereby you are supposed to use machines to do your mixing. You see people using hands, and before they could lift it to its position for the casting, it has taken a long time. Places where you don't have enough workers, you see people, they have already mixed their cement and the squares aggregate and fine aggregate. After mixing a whole lot, you see it's even immediately you mix, the material you've mixed will be undergoing settlement, and it means that if you open it again and turn it after some time, you are weakening the strength. So you cast immediately, you mix. Some people don't know that. Then we will get to that. Right now, we are actually discussing about what it costs to build. There are so many things that will lead to failure in construction.
Especially
that of crack. So many things could lead to that. But sometimes when you see a crack on a column, there was one you showed to me last time. You took me to a site where we went for inspection. I think it's different from the one you have just mentioned, whereby you see columns. A crack on a column, not on the wall, on a pillar, having crack down. That is not, is the reinforcement is very poor.
Was someone that I don't know if they've bought already but they just wanted you to check, and
about the strength.
there were still cracks.
Yeah, and again, placing walls on a mere slab that has no reinforcement underneath is also another problem. You see some people, they place their walls. Some people will tell, oh no, I want it this way, I want it the other way, without considering the structural rules of building.
Yeah.
Some people will not even reinforce the slab in a way it will be able to carry on wall. Then they will just come on top of a slab and start creating wall. What do you expect? It's overload. So such can lead to crack. And if it happens that way, trust me, 70% of such structures are best demolished. So back to our cost of building in stage 2, we are talking about reinforcement. Like I mentioned, reinforcements here involve Y16, Y12, Y10, binding wire, and we have also binding wire, that's the steel rope. So we use the Y10 for the steel rope, the ring. The 12 is also used to support some areas where it is required in beams, while we use the 16 on the columns and also the beams. So put together, we'll be looking at the number of iron, like I mentioned here, for Y16 takes about 118 lengths, while Y12 takes about 120, while 60 lengths will be enough for the steel rope, that's the Y10. So put together, it will amount to 1,638,000 based on the price of iron as at then. Though not quite long, it's still within the heat of increment in price of materials that we are discussing about now. The next stage will be the walling. Walling involves 6 inches blocks and 9 inches blocks.
So where are the 9 inches blocks going to be?
The 9 inches is usually meant to be on the major walls, all outside wall, the inside wall too, the major walls. Where the only place we normally make use of 6 inches is a place where we have minor walls, and whereby we are lacking space in some areas where if it's a place where we lack space, maybe by the bathroom and toilets, we'll end up using 6 inches. Block actually to create more space, but it's best to use 6 inches.
Space on its own.
Yeah, of course. With that, you can reduce 9 inches and 6 inches. If you it's a place where you use 9 inches,
one needs to be very careful, because it's not because you're trying to create space and at the same time you go against the way of building and all that.
Yeah, the point here is that the block is a exception of structural strength. We do tell people, don't think that this block is what is carrying the load. You can only do that in a place where the building itself does not have the strength, or the engineers do not rest the loading capacity of that very building on the columns. The columns will be able to should be able to carry the load, even without the blocks. Blocks are what we use here for partitioning of the walls, create rooms and all that. But there must be a well-reinforced column strength that carries on the slab or the load. So that's what matters in this regard. So be it 9 inches or 6 inches doesn't really count a lot. But it's very important we use 9 inches. People will also prefer it, also add to it. If we are saying, okay, let us use 9 inches because it's an upstairs. So how many inches will you now use when you are building a skyscraper, a slab of 22, 28, 30 slabs? That means you'll be using like 200 inches. Do you understand the logic?
Yeah,
So it's not about using 9 inches. So though there are some fittings, beauty that it adds when you look at the windows and all that. But what's important, most importantly, you make sure that your columns are well reinforced. That is what is holding your house, not the block. Another one is the concrete and mortar materials we have, which involve coarse aggregates, fine aggregates, and cement. The cement in this regard is about 163 bags. We use it for the setting of the blocks, the formation of the columns, casting of the columns, and the beams. Then the last level, 163 bags is usually enough in this regard. Then 40 tons of fine aggregate and 30 tons of coarse aggregate. But be rest assured that sometimes, depending on the design, 30 tons is usually much than required. So if we also have about 20 tons, complete tonnage, we'll be able to also achieve it in this regard. So put together, the next thing will be the transportation, labor, and supervision. On that very stage of walling, we'll be looking at about 5.880 million as at when this very project was constructed. That is for stage 2. The next is stage 3. Like I mentioned, stage 3 also involves a lot of wood, like 1 by 12 by 12, 2 by 3, and 1 by 6. On that very decking slab, stage 3 include formwork. In formwork, we have 1 by 12 by 12 size of wood of about 402 pieces. And we also have the 1 by 6, about 60 pieces. The 1 by 12 by 12 wood is sold then at the rate of 1,600, while the 1 by 6 is sold for about 850 naira per one, and 2 by 3 is also there about 377 pieces. Then we'll talk about the nailing, 4 inches, 3 inches, and 2 inches. So there is also need for acro props, that's the bamboo. If we are using bamboo or we're using the metal acro props, that's different. But in this formation, we are talking about the bamboo style, that is the type, the acro props, the props we use, which requires about 370 pieces of it, which is sold for then 500 per one. So put together in this very stage, it will be 1,071,000 thereabout for the formwork on that same stage 3. So the next one now will be the reinforcement. The reinforcement here also includes the Y16 rod, Y12, and Y10. Y10 is what we use for the steel rope, and also in some areas of the decking mat, we use more of the Y12. Then we use more of some of the Y10 in some area. Y16 is used also more in the beams, because we are still going to run a decking beam in this very stage. So put together, all the reinforcement cost about 2,521,000 on this very stage. That is the ironwork.
Okay.
Yes, including the binding wires, all the rods required on this very stage. Concrete and mortar materials involve the cement of 240 bags, coarse aggregate of 80 tons, and fine aggregate of 40 tons. It's well enough for this very stage. So put together on this very one for about 1,598,000 naira on the concrete and mortar material. After that is the transportation and labor along with supervision. All of these put together on this very stage as at then goes for about 6,493,000 naira on this very stage 3 quotation. So that's the cost on stage 3. But something I still need to remind you, in the course of this construction, there comes in electrical piping. Also, mechanical piping sometimes do come from stage 2, also even some stage 1. Okay. If your foundation, the DPC is very high, it means that we have to start installing the mechanical pipings. That is the plumbing pipings. That's what we mean by mechanical piping. Electrical most times is preferably, we prefer it at this very stage 3, where we run the decking pipings, where the electrical piping on deckings, that is where we have the lighting points on the ceiling.
Okay.
So we run all the conduit piping during the course of this slab stage. So this one put together cost about 440,000 on the both twins duplex.
Wow.
To run the mechanical electrical piping. And mechanical piping includes the water collector. If you watch most of our buildings, you will not see any pipe on the wall. We run those things beforehand. We don't even need breaking the walls, and our pipe starts from ground. While we are constructing, we are installing the pipes along the line. So that is why it makes it easier for us to have our conduit piping system without much stress, without weakening the wall. When you know, sometimes people will go there and use hammer to chisel again. But we plan all of that before time. So that's the method we use. The next one now will be the stage 4. Stage 4 includes the walling of the first floor slab, the first floor, the walling of the first floor. You know, where we have the rooms, the family lounge, the lobbies, the bathroom, and so on and so forth. So all of that comes in stage 4. Stage 4 also includes the formwork, which we also make use of 1 by 12 by 12 planks too for the formation of the columns and the beams, which involve about 162 pieces at 1,600, and we also use 1 by 6 for the areas where we have the 6 inches wall. It also includes the use of 1 by 12 by 12 planks. In this regard, we make use of 162 pieces at 1,600. Then the 1 by 6, which we use in areas where we have the 6 inches walls, that's the block. Then 1 by 9, in the area where we have the 9 inches walls for beams. So sorry, for the lintels. You know, to run the lintels, where we have doors and then where you have windows. So we make use of all of that. Then another one is the nails, 2 inches and 3 inches, altogether 30 kg. A kg is sold for 550 naira. In this very stage, we'll be looking at 331,442 naira. In this very stage. Another one here is the walling. The walling materials are also inclusive, which is in fact very necessary. Where we have the blocks about 2,600 for 6 inches, and then 3,122 pieces of block for 9 inches. Yeah, that's for the walling of the entire first floor to reinforced concrete facial stage. That is the stage 5.
You mentioned this in stage 3.
No, the reinforced concrete.
No, that blocking.
Yes, it appears in stage 2.
Okay, so
yeah, the walling is in stage 2. After the German floor, that's where we'll talk about the walling. Then the next place is the after that we have the slab, which is stage 3. Then stage 4 as the walling of the first floor the first floor. Yeah. So then when you talk of all of that, we look at the reinforcement. The reinforcement, Y16 is also very important in some area, depending on the design. We may be needing up from between 20 and 30 pieces of it. If it is a place where we have some of the hanging beams, you know, that like the balconies where you don't see the pillars coming up from it, then there is need for that. Also, the areas where we have the continuation of the entrance pillars, so we also need use 16 in that regard. So Y16, Y12, and Y10 also are inclusive in this very reinforcement, which involve about 1,064,000 naira. Another one is concrete and mortar materials. The concrete is used for the casting of the columns, that's the pillars and the beams all around. We'll be needing that coarse aggregate in that place, about 30 tons. Then fine aggregate, that is the sharp sand. When you hear of fine aggregate, we're talking about the sharp sand. Yes, so that one will be needing about 40 tons. 40 tons based on the calculation of the truck suppliers. The China truck, sometimes is even 15 tons in the load. So, but some call it 30 tons. But when you go for accurate measure, it goes to about 15. So for us not to be misled in that regard, that's what is called the China truck. Some call it 30 tons, and some call it 15. No, some call it 30 tons, some call it 20 tons. But what is there is 15 tons at the China truck. So when we are talking about 20 tons, we are referring to China truck.
Okay.
Yeah, China truck. So another now, okay, we have mentioned
all
that.
this is still in stage 4.
Yeah, in stage 4. All of them also appeared in stage
3.
Stage 2 with some difference.
Yeah, in stage 2.
Yes, with some difference in cost of numbers of materials. The labor too has some little difference too. So we are discussing about the mortar and concrete materials. That is the casting material, which include the cement of about 170 bags. In stage 2, I think it was about 160 bags. So with difference of 10, based on some minor changes upstairs. So because all the walls are not really the same and of which is not the same sizes. Then coarse aggregate 30 tons, fine aggregate 40 tons. Altogether amount to about 964,000 naira. Then the labor, supervision, and transportation come. Put together on stage 4 cost about 5,922,000 naira. So that's for stage 4. Stage 5 is the reinforced concrete fascia called parapet. So the reinforced concrete fascia, though in some projects, some are internal, which serves as water collector, while some are external, but it is called reinforced concrete fascia before the roof. That one involves some different materials now when it comes to formwork. We make use of 1x6 by 12 wood. We make use of 1x4. We also make use of 1x2, depending on the design of the house. But as for this one, we use more of 1x6, 1x12, and plywood, nails, and galvanized rod, galvanized wire. When it comes to reinforcement, we also use the Y10 in this regard and Y12 on the beams. Okay. Yeah. Then the plywood is also inclusive, in this very stage. So put together in then we talk about the mortar material, which takes about between 10 and 15 tons of coarse aggregate and 20 tons of or less than 20 tons of fine aggregate. That is the sharp sand. So to construct the parapet, that's the reinforced concrete fascias. So altogether will be about 1.9 million naira at that very stage. That is for the parapet. Then if you look at the current cost of materials for today, the difference may be added to it, which I may not be able to ascertain for now, the difference for today. But that is for this very project we are seeing on the screen. So another one will be the stage 6, the installation of the roofing trusses and the roofing sheets. We are now talking about the cost and process of constructing the stage 6, which is the roofing stage. On this very stage, we have the roofing trusses, that's the roofing wood, then the roofing sheets, and all its installation tools and other materials like nails, 5 inches nail, 4 inches nails, 3 inches nails. This must be there. So all put together in only the nailing, based on today's price, goes about 98,000 naira. While the 2x4, 2x6, 3x4, and 2x3 are the woods we use. Then another thing you will also consider when it comes to roofing is the height and the kind of materials you want to use. Some people will tell you, they want a very high roof, send down the rain. Send down the rain, though. Any roof that's high and slope is called send down the rain in Nigeria.
High, like high.
High roof, yes.
Okay.
But some people will tell you they want it to be very high. The width also counts. Everything has to be proportional.
Like, what does it really do if it's high or it's not high? Do you feel like which one is better or what?
You see, we make sure that everything is proportionate. Some clients will tell you they need a very high roof. That's choice. Then when it is moderate, it's better.
But if it's high, is it going to make the rain not to?
Okay, they believe that the higher the
or
roof,
is it just the beauty to make the house beautiful or what?
some view it as beauty.
Okay.
Some view it as easy way of a slope for water to for
Okay.
free flow of water.
Okay.
But then when you talk of free flow of water, trust me, the one that is as sharp as this, and the one like this, we all have the same free flow of water, depending on the installation. If you wish your roof to be very high, no problem. We colossal engineers are there to give it to you. But when it comes to talk of professional aspect of it, it's not really that too necessary when it comes to strength of houses and all that, to have your roof very high. I look at it as a design. Yeah. Now, when it comes to maintenance, roof that is very sharp and high, it's always very difficult when it comes to maintenance. To climb on it is a problem. So that's one of the advantages it has too. So, but when it's moderate and there is need for maintenance, one can easily climb there and then do the maintenance and come back. So, looking at that very stage, that is the roofing materials that we have mentioned, the wood. Then on this very project, if you look at that roof, if you can see it, it's a very quality one. The shingle melanos. Some people also will want to use higher materials too, like I wouldn't mention the products. There are some products that are also very expensive. When we say expensive, I mean very, very expensive. When we bought these very materials, that very material is also a very good one. If you look at it, come there the next 50, it's guaranteed. Where we usually buy our materials, they give guarantee. Signed and sealed, 50 years. 50 years guarantee on that very roofing sheet. Yeah, it's 50 years. I still have the warranty, the guarantee that was signed by the manager of the company.
Really?
Yeah, I still have it. But I believe it's good to go because it's still the same. I've been patronizing them for the past 6 years now, and no complaint. So, however, then it was sold for about 3,200 per square meter. But today, that same material is sold for 4,200, 4,800, depending on the prices of materials here are not stable. Then another thing is the installation kits, like the nailings. We have different ones too, and you talk of the nails, you talk of the felts that is used in some areas, and also the water collectors that takes the water from the roof and then descend through the pipes, the conduit pipe, as explained before. So that is the process this is the process of roof installation, which then cost about 4,223,000 naira, including the wood and the roofing sheets.
On this same stage 6?
Yes, on this same stage 6. So if we put all of this together, you can tell about how much it costs to construct a 4-bedroom twin duplex to roofing level in Lagos. So put together, starting from stage 1 to stage 6, as you can see, from then till now, cost between 32 million and 35 million to roofing level.
Can we use that as a current price right now?
Yeah, currently it should be. Yes, I have a similar quotation that is going on for 35 million, in the exception of mechanical and electrical piping.
Okay, so those are exceptional. It's not added
to it, which is around, which
and it's
amounted to
still
about
the
35
same
million.
35.
Yeah, same size of building, but then the structural pattern are different.
Okay.
So, like I said, it's only when we look at the site that we'll be able to ascertain the kind of structure that will be fitting to such a structure.
So what do you think might make a house more expensive than this price? Is it the design? Is it the because I feel like it's almost all like okay, probably the cost of materials.
Yeah, cost of materials, type of foundation,
Okay.
and design. Design also is important because sometimes when you hear of 5-bedroom duplex or 4-bedroom duplex, you may be thinking of okay, the living room and then 5 rooms. There are some 5-bedroom duplex that if you want to convert them to rooms, it will be up to 8 rooms.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
because yes, of course. If you are talking of 5-bedroom duplex, remember you didn't add the maybe BQ where it's necessary.
Yeah.
You did not add the maybe gym house.
Okay.
You did not add maybe office, study room, or chapel. Some usually have things, and also you did not add the fact that there is laundry,
Yeah.
laundry rooms. So
But
that's
the
where
fact
design
that this
comes.
particular one has like a laundry room space
Yeah, there is laundry room there.
and it has store.
There is
It
store. I believe so well that this video will be useful to our listeners and those who are watching right now. And feel free at any time to contact us if you need our service. And if this is your first time of watching, if you have enjoyed this video, give a big thumbs up to Uzoma Grace. And feel free to subscribe if you have not done so that you will be able to get more updates. She's always accurate,
how come
always
you
coming
know
around.
this thing like feel free everything you're just
Yeah, you are doing well. You are doing well.
Thank you.
I know very well you are doing well. You always come around to take updates on our projects, how far we have gone, and you always
Push you
put to time, making sure
to make
that
this video.
things are working out well. Also ask about those clients. I hope you are
because
still
I
doing
preferred
it.
it's
I know I
because
don't want my clients to go.
it's because I won't want my client to have complaints and I would really want to make sure that everything is going well.
Anywhere you call us, be it outside of Lagos, anywhere in the eastern region, in western region, any part of west, any part of the eastern region, and some part of the northern region, anywhere you call us, feel free to call us and be rest assured that we do not select when it comes to areas to work. If you are ready, contact us. Thank you very much for this time, giving us this privilege to speak to you concerning what it costs to be 4-bedroom duplex. Back to you, Grace. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching to this end. I really appreciate you all. If you've watched this video to this point, thank you so much. You guys are the real MVP and I hope you find this video interesting. Please guys, support me, support my channel by subscribing to the channel. Give this video a big thumbs up and you can also share to your friends and family. I pray that God provide money for you guys so that you can start your project immediately. If you're also looking for properties to buy, please do not forget to contact me on properties in Nigeria. Do not forget to contact me. I will leave my number on the description box. If you're looking for an engineer that will build for you, you can always reach out. Thank you all for watching and remain blessed. God bless you all. Bye.
Bye.
Till next time.
All right.
Bye.